Gears of War Judgment, insane difficulty walkthrough, doing all the declassified missions and getting 3 stars on every single mission. So basically this guide is going to cover the hardest way through the game and all the extra challenges and everything like that to get all the achievements on the hardest difficulty. Insane difficulty is unlockable, and it's actually insane. This ended up being a lot more difficult than I expected. It's more difficult than I remember the previous Gears of War games being, and it's a really good challenge. There's some levels that are quite a bit more difficult than the others. This first level's not that challenging. The challenge really comes with how quickly you die and how many enemies there are that can kill you in one shot, and how easily you can fuck up and just ruin a good run. Like enemies like boomers and the Cantus with the torque bow, and tickers and rampagers, I think they're called, and grinders, and just like there's so many enemies that can just ruin your day super quickly if you just spend half a second too long out of cover. But anyway, so this is going to be instead of a full voiceover walkthrough like I've done on like all my other guides, basically I'm just going to start off every level throwing out a couple tips, giving some basic strategies for what to do, what to look for. This first level is not too tough, so I guess I'm just kind of doing an overview of the entire experience. At this point in the game, or in my guide recording process, I have completely finished the main campaign, the Judgment campaign. I have not done the Aftermath campaign yet, but that's pretty short, and I'm not expecting it to be that difficult. The final boss for this is really difficult. Really, really difficult. There's a couple levels that I think the final boss probably took me the longest to really learn the patterns and get it down and win. But there's a couple levels that took dozens of retries, literally dozens of retries. Like, this is one of the hardest mainstream games that I've made a walkthrough for in a long time, which is good. I'm glad. Like, the collectibles were insanely easy to find, which is disappointing because I spent a lot of time making that walkthrough. So if you need help finding collectibles, be sure to use that. But yeah, this is actually really difficult, and I'm hoping that the strategies that I developed for getting through all these levels proves to be helpful to some people. So yeah, the Declassify missions, if you're not familiar with how these work, every level has its own Declassify challenge. You have to turn it on basically, and it adds, it doesn't really add much to the story, but what it does is it makes it easier to get the 3-star challenge complete. Every difficulty has a different grade of star. I guess Onyx is the highest, the most valuable star that you can earn on insane difficulty only. And I would imagine that if you're really good and you really tried, that you could probably get some of the 3-star challenges without turning on the Declassify challenges, but there are achievements for beating every Declassify challenge on the hardest difficulty, in addition to getting 3 stars on every level on the hardest difficulty and beating every level on the hardest difficulty. So again, right now I'm just covering absolutely everything that I can in this one playthrough. I'm not going to talk over any of the cutscenes, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're just watching this for good gameplay and the cutscenes and all that, I'm not going to ruin those cutscenes for you. These Dark Wretches, this is the first challenge. These guys explode when you kill them, so like a ticker, you don't want to be too close to them when they die. If you melee them, they'll die, and you should probably roll away. If you try to melee them, I'm pretty sure that you will not beat them back far enough to the point where you will live when they explode. So for the 3-star challenges, they're not that difficult to get when you turn on the Declassify challenge. For the most part, if you turn on the Declassify challenge and you beat the level, you will get the 3-star challenge. There are a few exceptions, and I'll point those out when I get to those levels, but you gain the stars so much faster, and they pace them pretty well so that like you gain the bars to earn the stars pretty quickly, or not pretty quickly, but proportionally level to level. But yeah, there are a few levels where you have to really, where I didn't get it on my first try. getting the 3 stars. And another really kind of strange thing about this game that I don't remember from any of the previous Gears games is that the waves of enemies that you fight are kind of random. And that is the reason why I don't like why there are a few levels where you have to kind of plan ahead to get the 3 stars. Not on this level. I don't think, or I don't remember there having any problems with random enemies. But from some very basic testing, I found that there are in every section there are 2 fairly significantly different groups of enemies that you can fight, and sometimes you can take advantage of that and just reload from checkpoint and basically have a 50-50 coin toss of maybe fighting an enemy type that you prefer over another, or maybe an enemy type that is easier to get a whole bunch of executions against and get those stars faster than another type of enemy. But I'll get into that later at some of the other levels where that actually becomes important, and you can use that to your advantage to make getting the 3 stars a little bit easier. And that is it for this level. Game on.
Big problem, sir. Our convoy just got destroyed.
Then move on to the Museum of Military Glory. It's under attack.
Sir, whatever destroyed our convoy's still out there.
Noted, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Come on, Kilo. You heard the man.
I heard him. Doesn't mean I like him.
The museum was on the other side of the river, the side the COG no longer controlled. I thought maybe we could slip through unnoticed.